This is Kinkela, and I am a somatic business mentor and energetic alchemist for high-achieving entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and creatives who really desire to expand and grow their business from a place of ease and pleasure, and in a way that fully honors their body, their well-being, and the kind of life that they desire to create for themselves. And today, I wanted to talk to you about what it really means and what's really important for you to know when shifting from the experience of business being really hard into business like really fully honoring a space of ease for you and really fully honoring your experience of pleasure in both your life and in your business. And so it's really looking at this question of like, why is business feeling so hard? Why is scaling feeling so hard? And how can I shift out of that paradigm into experiencing more ease? And before I really dive into talking a little bit more about that and the number one thing that I think is important for you to reflect on as you're scaling, what I want to just acknowledge that I think is important to talk about is that there's a difference between easy and easeful, right? And so when we talk about business and scaling your business being easeful, what we're really here to acknowledge is that business building is hard. Like there are so many hard moments in our business growth because our business really confronts us with a lot of shadow parts of us, right? When I started my business, the first 2 years of my business, I was working through a lot of healing shadow work kind of stuff because all of the places where I didn't feel enough, all of the places where I had scarcity, all of my fears of rejection, of being seen, like all of it was coming up for me, right? And so it's not to say that business is easy. And if it was easy, a lot of people would be doing it. Everyone would be doing it, right? But it's more about how do we actually experience ease in our business where we feel safe to step away, where we feel like we are always receiving in our business, like we are safe in receiving money from our business, right? And where we feel like things are just clicking, right? Where we feel like things are running in a way that really supports us being able to live the kind of life that we want to live. One of the reasons why we maybe even stepped into our business is I know a lot of entrepreneurs really want a lifestyle of freedom. They want more spaciousness, more time, right? And this is really talking about how do we actually create that? What does that actually look like? And the truth is it's going to look a little bit different for everyone depending on your body and your energy and your desires. But this one thing that I'm going to talk about today is going to be such a key in helping you really put the puzzle pieces together, helping you understand what are the things that are not clicking and how can I bring those things together. So that is what we are here to talk about. And I want to start off with sharing my own story of this because, I teach this, I help entrepreneurs embody this in their own business because I myself felt like scaling my business was really hard. Like things just were not clicking. I didn't understand what is the secret sauce to all of this, right? And even though I was someone who was really deeply attuned to her body, like I've always worked with the body, I've always helped others heal and expand through the body, I still wasn't fully understanding how all of these things came together in my business to help me create the kind of growth that I wanted, to help me scale in a way that didn't feel like I was really pushing against the current all the time, right? And so I had all of this knowledge. I had all this knowledge about the body, about the nervous system. I had all this knowledge about energy work, and these things really go together, right? And then I also had all of this knowledge about strategy and systems and marketing and, kind of what I'm supposed to be doing in order to attract the kind of clients that I really want to serve in my business. And so I had all of these different pieces that, I'd taken a lot of courses. I had done so much healing work within myself. And yet, all of these things that I had done weren't coming together in a way that was helping me to scale my business in a way that felt good, in a way that felt resonant with who I am and what my energy is, right? And so this is really what I see happening in like the business world. When I really start to work with entrepreneurs, I see a lot of these disjointed pieces that are kind of existing in their field, right? So they kind of know some strategic marketing pieces. They're doing healing work and energy work and all of this stuff. And they are generally highly attuned and highly aware of their shadows and all of these different pieces, right? But something isn't coming together that's helping them like really scale in a way that is effective, that is sustainable, that is resonant for who they are, and that really brings in the kinds of clients that they want. And so this is the one missing piece that I find people don't actually teach, whether you're taking a strategy course or whether you're doing healing and energy work, more like feminine embodiment pieces. This isn't something that's necessarily taught, right? It's not something that's brought together in containers. And that is really integration. Integration is such a huge component. It's such a huge component of really scaling your business in a way that is easeful and in a way that is resonant for you, right? That resonates with your nervous system, with your body, with your energy. And I want to dive into what integration really means. So when we think about integration, we typically think about like it's the space between. It's like the space where we rest and allow something to settle into our bones, right? Sometimes we have integration weeks and courses so that you can assimilate the information that you're learning and integrate it in. But what is not happening is that we are not learning how to like fully integrate with our energy. We're not learning how to integrate the things that we are healing from, the strategies, the marketing that we're learning. We're not learning how to integrate it into our own embodiment and then channel out from that space. And this is the missing piece that I see in like not only in strategy and marketing, but also in energetic work and in embodiment work, is that we're not leaving space for the integration to happen. And in fact, we actually don't even know how to integrate as a culture, if you think about it, as a society, because we are so focused on growth and going and checking the next thing off the list and doing what we think we should be doing, that we skip integration. It's like kind of the last thing that we think about. And we don't feel safe enough to give ourselves space. And we also don't even quite know what it means to fully integrate the things that we learn and the energy that we receive through our healing work. We don't know what it means to integrate that into our action, into how we individually take action in our business. And it's something that I am actually continuing to learn with everything that I do in my business, because my integration at every level of my business looks different, right? It's a place that I've never been before. So every launch, everything that I'm building out, places that I've never been before, are inviting me into a different kind of integration space. And knowing how to be in the integration space is about knowing how to listen to your nervous system and knowing how to allow your nervous system to actually like use your throat to then speak out the truth of what is landing from that space, right? So I want to talk about integration from two different perspectives. One is like really integrating what we know about strategy and marketing. And then the other one is integrating the energetic and healing embodiment work that we are doing and putting those things together. Integration, knowing how to integrate and being in the process of integration, is the part that creates resonance. So harmony, resonance, like vibrational connection between you, your clients, the offer that you have and that you're launching, right? Integration is the part, the spaciousness that has to be there in order for your nervous system to come into resonance, right? In order for that vibration, that resonance to land in your field, to land in your body, to land in your messaging and the strategy that you are using, right? And so this is the part that people actually skip over and where there is so much dissonance that happens. So when it comes to integration with your strategy and marketing, what I want you to think about is that strategy and marketing is information, right? There's so many different strategies, there's so many different marketing approaches, and all of them can work, right? All of them can be effective. But what makes it effective for you is actually like your embodiment of the strategy and your buy-in into the strategy. So I'll give you an example. People sell all kinds of strategies that are going to tell you that people are going to make however much money, right? 10K, 50K, whatever it is. However, what is required for any strategy is for your own alignment and for your own energy to be on board. And when strategy or marketing doesn't seem to be working, it's because the person is in some type of dissonance or lack of alignment, or their energy or their body doesn't feel completely on board with the offer, doesn't have clarity about the client, or doesn't fully buy into the strategy, doesn't like parts of the strategy, like feels constriction. There's something in the body that doesn't feel good about it, right? So whenever we're learning a particular strategy or marketing technique, it's actually really important for us to sift through the strategy and the marketing and to let ourselves check it with our body, to let ourselves really attune to, is this a strategy that I actually want to implement in my business, that I can energetically commit to in my business? Is what this strategy is teaching me is something that my body is like super open towards and feels excited about, right? Strategies are actually really simple. And again, they're just information that you need to know how to apply in your business, how to adjust to your own energy. And you can take any strategy and take out just the foundational pieces of it and adapt it in a way that feels really good for you, feels really good in your body, and feels exciting for you to implement, right? So if it's using like video or, some components that actually, you feel a ton of resistance to doing and you don't know how to work through those blocks, and, even when you work through those blocks, you're still not like in it, then that strategy is probably not going to work very well for you. There are certain clients that I have who, like, for instance, love video, and that comes really naturally to them. And when they post videos, they have a ton of engagement on the videos. And so the energy is obviously resonating with them as like the video as their medium, right? And then there's other clients that just like really love to write. They love writing. They love sharing their content through the written word. And what they see when they post written content is that people really resonate and vibrate with their written content, but their videos don't do so well, right? And so there's almost like this constant feedback loop in your body from your external environment, really showing you what strategies fully resonate with the kind of energy that you embody, with the things that you are really good at doing. And there's always this feedback loop that's happening relationally, but we might not be paying attention to it because we're so stuck in the should of what this strategy is meant to look like or what we see other people doing. And so we get fixated, we focus in on the mind that wants to control the strategy, the outcome, right? Getting that to that 10K. So we're like, well, it worked for this one person, so it must work for me too. And we keep pushing and pushing against the energy that's clearly reflecting back to us that something just isn't feeling right, right? And so the integration space here is for you to, become really aware of like, what strategy feels good in my body? Like what strategy, like what ways of sharing and marketing and selling to people seems to resonate? Like what do people in my community really respond to? When do I feel really good? Like how do I feel good when I sell, when I market, when I do something that shares, my expertise? What medium do I use? What feels juiciest to me, right? And so, and from that space, then you can really allow yourself to think about, what does it look like for me to apply this strategy in my own business? And allow yourself to adjust from there. So this is actually the reason why I don't really purchase any more like strategy marketing courses. Unless I'm in some type of mastermind, like if I'm in a mastermind experience where I have a coach who's really good at the strategy and she can help me integrate the strategy into my business, help me to attune it to my own energetic system. That is different than buying a bunch of strategy courses or marketing courses that teach me how to get to 10K or a million or whatever it is. Because my investment is really like, how do I integrate this? How do I make it work for me? How do I find the strategy that fully resonates with my body, with my nervous system, that will help my audience see me and experience me at the level that I desire, right? Then when we look at integration from the embodiment or the energy or the alignment perspective, we are really looking at how am I integrating like the mindset, the healing shifts, the spiritual experience that I'm having up here fully into my body, into my lower energy centers, into my root center. And I see this so often. That we do all of this like work up here in terms of this is what I'm supposed to be thinking. This is, I'm healing all of my inner child stuff. I'm doing all of this. But then there's no process where we allow that information to sink into our body and to inform our action steps, right? The healing and the energy work is happening in a vacuum. It's over here or it's up here somewhere. And I work with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs. So, there tends to be like a lot of meditation, a lot of like beautiful experiences, up here. But that information then doesn't actually descend down into the body. It doesn't get integrated into the body. And we're putting it in compartments, right? We're having these like really powerful healing experiences, but then we don't actually know how to integrate it into our business and how to allow the energy, the expansion of that experience to be seen and fully expressed. So one of the things that for me is so important when I'm facilitating healing containers for someone is that we are bringing it into the root. And we're actually allowing the healing experience to inform what that means in terms of the action steps that we are taking in business, right? How does this relate to my business? And so my containers are really specifically geared towards like honing the healing in on your business. But if you're doing healing with someone else who isn't like specifically focused on helping you in your business, then it's taking that healing, bringing it to your coach or bringing it to your journaling practice and thinking about like, how does this translate into my business? How do I ground this into my business? How does this inform how I show up in my business, right? So that there's a vein of connection that's bringing those things together. And even asking, if you work with guides, if you work with the spiritual realm, asking guides, can I receive, support and guidance on how to integrate this into my business, on how this applies, right? And of course, not all of your healing, not all of your energy work has to be focused on your business. But what I do often see happening is we are so in the muck of the healing that we then don't know how to apply and take action, right? We go into the healing with the intention of allowing ourselves to free our voice, to free our power through that work. But if we don't do the work of really anchoring it into our root and taking action from that energetic space, then the resonance doesn't have an opportunity to land, right? The resonance doesn't happen because everything is happening inside of a compartment, right? So the integration piece is such a pivotal part of this work. And when I see entrepreneurs struggling to scale their business, we're actually looking at where is their dissonance happening? What is not feeling good in your business? Like what strategy, how are you approaching this? What isn't feeling good? What's feeling constricting? And, we're looking at where do we need to integrate more? Where does the integration need to happen? So what are the things that are bubbling up in here? What are all the shoulds? And how can we test those shoulds against your body to see if they fully resonate for you, right? To see if they actually apply to you and how you want to grow your business. So this is where I see the hard happening, is that all of the shoulds of strategy and marketing are circling here. And then all of the shoulds of, maybe like what comes through some of your intuitive guidance or some of your energy work or some of your healing, because the ego is so involved in the interpretation of that. And there's no place for the click to happen and for you to actually allow yourself to attune to the body and for the body to guide the way that you implement action steps, the way that you just allow the energy to flow through you. So specifically, even with healing work, is because it happens so out here and not within the body, when the energy doesn't land, we're not actually speaking from that energy, right? We're speaking more from like we've done all of this processing with the healing, processing with the mindset work, and it's all up here. But it's not coming from that core of you. It's not emanating from within you. And the core of you is the piece that is really wanting to be unveiled through embodiment work, right? The core of you is the piece that wants to shine through in your content, that wants to magnetize, that wants to be seen, right? And so with like spiritual work or mindset work or healing work that's all up here and not landing in here, if we're not feeling it, we are not showing up with it. Yeah. So what I want to invite you into is to really consider where integration needs to happen for you and your business to help you scale with ease. Where are you feeling like you're stuck in the I should do this in my business? Where does it feel like you are constricting or like something just like feels icky in your business and not right? And I want to invite you into examining the rule, examining the should, and then asking your body, how would it feel? What would it look like for me to implement this strategy or to flip this rule on its head? Like, how do I want to inhabit this space? What feels good in my body? How do I want to show up, right? Where do I feel most lit up and in my power? Where do I feel most excited in my business? And that is really what you are shifting into. And then with your healing and energy work, to really ask yourself, how am I anchoring this into my body? Am I working with my body? Am I working with my feeling state to allow it to align with my desires, with the vision that I have for myself and my business? And am I allowing myself to even step out of, being in this like constant cycle of healing, and really allowing myself to see, how can I use the incredible transformation that I'm getting in that space to really show up at a whole different level in my business? Like, where is this leading me, right? How can I allow the beautiful healing and the energy and the spiritual experiences that I'm having to land in my root? And does my body feel safe to receive that energy? Can I practice that more and more? So one of the things that I do in my own personal practice is, if I'm in a meditation and having an experience, I'm actually going through my womb space in order to do any type of energy work. And as I'm doing energy work in the field, or as I'm working with my body, I am making a conscious effort to allow the body to drop into my root center, to feel my body expanding and accepting the energy and integrating the energy. And then I'm allowing that intuitive information to come through my body that's really informing the action steps that I am taking, right? That's allowing me to get really precise on, what kinds of content do I put out into the world? What do I really need to speak to when it relates to my soul client? And that is all happening through my body experience. So I'm really allowing myself to shift from processing it here into experiencing it here. And that is a beautiful way for you to come into a space of allowing the integration to happen, which is what creates the resonance. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that this helped to put some of the puzzle pieces together. And I would love to hear any of your comments, any of your thoughts, any questions that you have. You can post them in the comments. You can reach out to me on Instagram and message me. But either way, I'd love to hear what resonated for you. And if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, creative coach who is scaling their business to 5-figure months, I currently have an amazing mastermind program called the Magick Weaver Mastermind, and it is enrolling right now until September 15th. And this is really the mastermind experience that puts all of these components together, that helps you find nervous system resonance, and that really helps you to expand your business from this place of pleasure and ease, and really attunement to your unique energy. So if that is something that you're interested in, I encourage you to message me or email me at anna@annakinkela.com. And I'm so looking forward to chatting with some of you and just even hearing your reflections. So thank you so much for listening, and sending you all love.